Hello, everybody. We're here. Another episode, five for talking. This is a little bonus one here. We're going to be discussing the Mike Babcock Sportsnet conversation. So Caps has the info, and he's going to let us know what's going on.
So Mike Babcock just recently did an interview discussing some of the things that's happened to him during the controversy with Mitch Marner, and he also discussed things with Franzen. So he's asked about Bozy. He went on to say that he brought Marner into his office. Things were going so well. And he asked Mitch Marner to rate his work ethic from 1 to 10. He did. He left the room. He says that the meeting went okay. And then he had what he thought was Bozak come in, and he left the note on the table. Mike Babcock referred to it, and as soon as he did, he knew he did something wrong. He walked out of the meeting, went up to Mitch and told him what he did, and asked him if he wanted to adjust it with the rest of the guys. Do you want to go by piece, or do you want to just go through the whole thing?
Give us the bulk of the situation.
Okay, so basically, he was then asked, was he wrong? And he admitted that he was wrong. He said it was his fault, and that he was asked that did he use tactics to sort of influence how the guys played, and he kind of disputed that. He then went on to the whole Franzen deal, and he thought in his mind that he had a good relationship with him. Did things not go as good at times? Absolutely. Did I ever in my mind try to bully anybody? That is the craziest thing I've ever heard of. He also said that he tried to get in touch with Franzen, and the interviewer thought that they talked, but he just went on to say that he just tried to get a hold of him, and he never ended up calling him back. Franzen went on to say that he thought that Mike Babcock was a great coach, but a bad person. After that, he started talking about making comparisons to his family, to the way he coached, and that he said he coached for 34 years, that a person at his caliber doesn't do what he does without getting a Stanley Cup win and a gold medal win, which is true. And that was pretty much the gist of it. So it doesn't really seem like he's really owning it in my eyes when I watched the whole thing. One thing I did caught my eye is Mitch Marner at that time was a rookie, and you are a experienced coach. What are you doing asking a rookie if it's okay to address this issue with the rest of the guys? If I'm going to pay you a certain amount of money, and at that time he was getting paid, he still is getting paid a lot of money from Toronto, I would imagine that, or I would assume that a person of his caliber would just do the right thing, and just not ask a rookie about his opinion.
This is my thing, though. So are we into open discussion now?
We were as of 30 seconds ago.
Okay, so this is my thing on that, what you just said specifically. That's like, you made the guy a rookie, first of all, write down a list of players that he thinks he works harder than. If I'm a rookie, obviously I'm going to put myself near the top. Okay, so now you have a list on your table. Bozak sees the list. Like, why the hell is Mitch Marner ranked higher than me? Goes and tells the boys that Mike Babcock has a list, probably thinking that he's the one that made that, right? And then Mike Babcock, to CYA himself, goes out there and is like, nah, it's Mitch Marner's list. Can I read this out, Mitch? And Mitch is like, well, in front of everybody now, what am I going to say? No? Like, why didn't you just throw the list in the garbage? I understand the whole point of what you're saying and what he said, that he should have just read it out and not asked permission, but you should have just not even addressed it. Who the hell cares? Throw it in the garbage. All you did was now let everybody know that Mitch Marner did that. And you made it look like it was him, not you.
That's what I'm saying. So, like, a person of his caliber should have just gone to the rest of the team and say, "This was me, not Mitch."
Yeah, and just said, forget it. Don't worry about what it was. It was just a stupid
It is
list.
what it was.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay, go. You go.
There was something that was left out. I just noticed right now that I saw from the actual video clip, and that the first question was, I think it was to the effect of whether or not he felt that his days were numbered. And he said, absolutely. From the get-go, as soon as Lou Lamoriello left, he knew that his job was done. Is that the right way or the right state of mind to go, whether a new person comes in or not? Like, how, like, are you purposely just trying to make this team look bad until you get fired, per se? Like, I don't get it, because at the end of the day, if I stand corrected, the GM does not fire the coach. He's got to get approval from the rest of the board, does he not? And then again, the fact is that Brendan Shannon is the one that hired him. No, he was still there. He was the one that ultimately fired him.
I would say that the president, like, it's probably the GM's call, but the president is probably the one that makes the decision. That's like, go tell him that he's fired. But I think that is bad for two reasons. One, because you just basically told us that for like the last 2 seasons of you being there, or season and a half, whatever it was, you just gave up because you knew you were going to get fired. 2, you took it out on all the players because you knew you were going to get fired. Okay. And then 3, if I even said that there was going to be 3 points, I don't remember, but all you're telling us is that it took an old school GM who also believes in treating players that way to hire a coach that believes in treating players that way. And then once he left, you knew you lost your job because there was no one to cover you anymore. So it's like, you didn't help anyone. You just made Lou Lamoriello look bad. That's all you did right there.
Yeah, but like, we have to like clarify. These are just like, this is just an open discussion. We are not, we don't really know all the details and everything, but we're just taking it based on what we see in terms of these articles and whatnot. So Lou Lamoriello was hired after Babcock. You know what I mean? Like,
but apparently
I don't see the correlation.
This is a thing I did hear, that he only
came based on
because
the fact
of Babcock, or else he wouldn't have came to Toronto.
Okay. Well,
but
yeah, I guess I didn't hear that, but here's the thing: like, up until Kyle Dubas took over to the point where Babcock got fired, the rumor is that he rejected every single idea that Kyle Dubas came up with in terms of what players were brought in, how he felt about them. Like, for example, Muzzin, he thought, whatever. He wanted a right-handed shot. He got Muzzin instead. He was not happy about that. Like all these different types of players that were brought in, he just felt that, like, he buried Justin Holl. Like, turns out he's like one of the best, a really good project right now.
Yes.
I'm not gonna say best, but he's playing very well.
The project part, I'll say yes, because I still don't think he's that good. He's fine.
You cannot reject someone without even just giving him a chance first.
He's literally been known to do that. This is my point here. And to echo what you were saying before about we're just discussing what's happening here, and it's true we are. Everyone in YouTube is just lucky that Bargo's not here for this episode, because it would be none of us talking and him just absolutely tearing Mike Babcock apart.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of what I want to do, but I'll be fair in this situation. And I think he did that a lot. He did that throughout his career, everywhere he went. You've had multiple people in Anaheim complain about him post after he left, okay? You had multiple people in Detroit complain about him, from Johan Franzen to what he did to Mike Commodore Okay, he bullied Mike Commodore through junior hockey, the Ducks, and in Detroit. Okay, and then you had Chris Chelios confirm that all of that happened, and Chris Chelios is like one of the most honorable NHL players ever, and for him to say that just automatically, just Chris Chelios saying that automatically takes away all your credibility.
He gave Zetterberg less minutes. This is stuff that I've read about. He gave Zetterberg less minutes. We cannot forget about what he did to Mike Modano. Mike Modano, his career stats says 1499 career games played. He was cut. Like he wasn't allowed to play. He would have been able to. He was healthy enough, but he didn't allow the guy to play 1,500 games. Like why not? Why wouldn't he be allowed to achieve that mark? Like what's so wrong about that?
That's just him, and I agree.
Spezza. The first game of the season with Spezza on the Leafs was against his old team, Ottawa Senators, and he wasn't allowed to play that game. I don't know why. I remember an interview afterwards saying, he wasn't ready to play on the penalty kill. What the hell does that got to do with anything?
Listen to me. From the very moment that he walked out the door, Jason Spezza has been outstanding.
Yep. He didn't put Marner and Matthews together, and they asked him why, and his reply was he wanted to win games. I don't know. Looks like they're winning games right now, eh?
And this is a really funny situation that now that you bring that up, okay? Because Mitch Marner and Austin Matthews wanted to play together. They were asking to play together, okay? And Tavares at the beginning requested to play with Nylander. And instead of doing that, you made both of them not play with the people they wanted to play with. How does that make sense?
I don't know, man. I don't know. Even watching this interview, he comes off as so egotistical.
I agree.
So someone pointed out that he referred to himself in the third person. And
he did. He did 3 times. Mike Babcock doesn't do this.
That's very.
Look, this is the last thing I really want to say. I noticed all he did was deflect, and he constantly made it seem like he was feeling bad for his situation, but it was all backhanded, like sorries or apologies, because he was like saying sorry, but you could tell that he didn't give a shit. He didn't care, and he even says at one point, "You're gonna take what I'm saying and try and turn it into something else," and they purposely left that in there so that you know that they didn't. And it's like the way he addresses everything is absolutely like the Franzen thing. He just tried to make Franzen look bad. Instead of taking the blame for it, he said, yeah, like blah, blah, blah. Oh, but yeah, I didn't do that. What?
No, through the whole thing, he was like, yeah, some of the smell test doesn't add up. Like, what doesn't add up? Like, there's a bunch of people saying that you're just a bad person. Like,
at some point, a lot of people are going to come and be like, yeah. Okay. Like, look at Don Cherry. Don Cherry did some stupid things, and he was just an old man. I'm sure he made up for most of the things he did wrong in his early part of his career throughout the end, but he still made stupid mistakes. I guarantee you, if you gave him the 3 best Russian players in the world in the 70s on Boston, he would have not played them because they were Russian. And I feel like Mike Babcock did the same type of thing a lot. Mike Babcock didn't like you, you're not playing. It didn't matter how good you are or what difference you were going to make on the team or how much everyone else liked you. If he doesn't like you personally, you're not playing on the team, which is absolutely stupid.
I remember, like, he started Mitch Marner out on the 4th line in his first year, like, for the better part of a couple months. And then he started playing well, and then he started moving. I don't know.
When Nylander was ripping it up, when Nylander was ripping it up in that little bit that he played in his rookie season, or the season before, I guess, that didn't count as rookie season, he had him on the 3rd line. The guy scored like 5 goals. And you had him just sitting there. Like, they had
nobody on that team.
And he admitted that they tanked for Matthews.
Yeah, he did. I saw somewhere where when he was talking about the whole Franzen thing that at the time he didn't know what mental illness was. And I'm like,
that's something you say because you bullied people your whole life. Everything.
Yeah, like, so that's your excuse for just beating the guy down?
I don't know how old he is, but I'm gonna assume he's like 60. And I'm gonna say from that era of sports, that's how it was. And I'm not sticking up for him, but if you look, hockey is the last sport that started coming forward with these things. And Mike Babcock, Don Cherry really started it, but Mike Babcock was like the trickle down effect. It happened to the guy in Calgary, and then the guy in Carolina, and then Paul Maurice, people were talking bad about him. And it was like this trickle down of players being like, oh, I can talk about this now, where it was already happening in football. Those junior football college kids were coming out about all kinds of weird shit that the coaches were doing to them, like horrible, terrible shit. And then it was coming out in baseball, and it was coming out in basketball, and then hockey just took so long to have this. And it's like there needed to be change. And if and he's hiring him as a coach, like, didn't he get a job? Like, who would give this person a job?
Yeah, he got a job in his hometown, I guess.
At 60 years old, you're not going to change. And
I hope he does, man.
he doesn't need the money to keep coaching, so why give him another job?
He's still getting paid, but at least for another 2 years.
That's what I'm saying. He doesn't need the money. Why hire him? Like, hiring him is just letting him continue to be the way he is. And I think
I don't know.
wrong.
I guess he just feels like at this point it's his ticket back into the NHL. Like he just wants to get back, but like
I feel like this interview was that what you're saying, and I don't feel bad for him, and I think that his apology was fake. I don't
even think there was an apology. I really don't even think there was an apology at this point.
But if you really pay attention to it, he thinks that he's saying sorry. Like, look at the way he addresses about Franzen. The way he addressed about Franzen and Marner, but then at the end, he's like, no, I didn't bully him. Well, so you just admitted it, and then now you're saying, no, I didn't. And then with Mitch Marner, you made it seem like all innocent. At the end, you're like, yeah, it happened. Like, I don't.
I'll just read you this one part, though.
All right, this is the last thing.
Yeah. You can't have a family I have and the opportunities I have without treating people good. Have I crossed the line ever? Absolutely. In saying that, when you get into mental health, that's a way different program. No one should ever be in that situation. So when you cross the line, you have to own that.
Yeah. Okay.
It's
so
full of contradictions.
I killed this guy. I own it, but I didn't do anything wrong because I owned it. Like, what? I did all these bad things, but I owned up to them. So it's okay that I did it.
Yep. Well,
all right.
That's all I gotta say.
I don't have anything else. Guys, thanks for watching. Let us know your thoughts on Michael Babcock in the bottom of the screen. And have a great day.